Hey there guys, how is it going? Today I want to introduce you to my little tool which I call KKClicker Buddy, and before we get to that, let's have a look. So you might have been struggling to figure out when to stop buying or what's best to buy when it comes to units or upgrades. As you can see right now, I don't really have much when it comes to Liliths or Widens. Like, I only have one Widen, so I haven't been very lucky with referrals yet. And the Liliths, well, I bought until I felt that it wasn't worth it anymore. They are only really good in the early game, so whatever. And despite not having referrals or anything, I'm doing okay when it comes to the leaderboard. I'm hoping to make it to the top, we'll see. Daxo does seem to have less production than me, so I might be lucky, we'll see. But what has been helping me? Well, this tool I made, KKClicker Buddy. It's just a little thing I've been working on. Hopefully I've been doing a decent job at least. What is this thing? Well, this thing helps you figure out when you should stop or what's best to buy. So let's have a look. I've pre-compiled everything from my game. As you can see, like, I threw in my bonus percentages here when it comes to every unit I bought. Then I threw in the number of units I have for each kind, and I pressed calculate. The time should be pre-compiled and correct. Let me have a look. Yeah, seems to be okay. But just double check, because it's a bit tricky to get it like working on every like region and everything. Right now we should be using like UTC time, so it should never be wrong, but we'll see. Here, for example, I set how much I expect to have the ads running for example, I'm cocky and I'm gonna say that somehow I can figure out how to keep them running 100% of the time. If you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe I can only keep them running for like 60% of the day, because then I have to sleep and I can't quite figure out how to keep them running for more than that, you can change this value, or just say, oh, I don't really use ads at all, and so just turn this off. Of course, you have to throw your bounty here as well if you have any. And so once you've done all that and pressed calculate, what the heck are those numbers? Well, this production tells you how much the next unit is going to produce. So like, I'm buying for 2 millions, and here it says the next warrior is gonna produce you 4 millions. So you know, okay, by the end of the season, this guy will have produced twice as much as the amount he costed me. As you can see, it's not the case for me, because if you go production minus cost, you see that my guy is going to actually cost me like 13 millions or something, so I'm minus 8.5 millions here. If I had bought it at the start of the season, maybe it would have been more like better. Not even then. So yeah, at that price, a warrior is not worth to buy. I bought the last one for like 10 million, so I'm probably short anyways. And you can see that everything tells you the same information, like all these that are negative are not worth buying. I could have bought this one, but I don't know, it feels like too little of an earning to really waste it. Like, see, it's gonna cost me like $500,000 to only give me 8 millions. And even if we go back to proper time, let's put it this way, like, you barely get anything out of it, so I was just not gonna risk it. Everything else is negative because, of course, I was cocky and bought expecting 100% uptime. Not quite. Like you can see, I've left a few, and of course I've stopped buying for a couple days now, or a day and a half, I don't know. So yeah, they've become negative. The timer was up higher, so at the time they were positive. Here instead you can see that this one gives you the net production divided by the cost. So if you have a few upgrades that are worth it, the one with the higher rate is the one that's going to pay off the best. So in this case, out of all the units, this one seems to be the better one. What does that mean? Well, it means that it gives you the best returns for how much you spend. So if you spend 1 million like diamonds, and you can decide to spend 1 million there or 1 million on 2 other units or something, the ones with the higher rates are the better ones, because they'll pay off faster, they'll pay off better in the long run. And the same applies here. Like, if the bigger this number is, and the bigger this number is, means the bigger the worth of the upgrade is. Like, you can see here, I could have bought all these upgrades, they were still worth it. These are not worth it at all. If I were to choose something, I'd have to pick Nashobas, because it's the one with the better rate and with the kind of best returns. This one has better returns, but it's lower and less per the cost. So this one would be best for the long game. This one is the best one in the short time. So like, if you want to gain faster, you look at the rates. If you want to win in the long run, these are the ones you're looking for. But of course you want to go through these ones first, and then the ones with the better increase minus cost, because these are the ones that are paying off long term. These ones that are the ones that are paying off short term. So maybe for the first few days of the week, you just look at the net increase divided by the cost, and the later on you go in the season, the more you should maybe start looking at these ones and min-max, whatever. This is just a short intro to this tool. I'm sure you'll figure it out over time. It's a bit tricky because there's a lot of math involved behind all this, but this is already like the digested version of it. Like, all these numbers are already like computed. You don't really have to worry about the time, for example. You already get the total production, accounting for how much time is left in the season, all that. And you don't even have to worry about like the number of units or the boost percentages, which behind the scene, the curtains are being used to figure out the cost of the next upgrade and the like net production in general depends on the cost and everything. So yeah. Now, I also made a little bit of a interesting tool because somebody wanted it, and I'm like, yeah, sure. What does this thing do? Well, you have to pick a start and an end time. Let's just add a minute for fun here. And then you say, okay, the guy had 60 diamonds when I started looking at him. A minute after that, or well, let's actually put in a minute properly. There you go. He had 120. What's the rate? Well, 1 per second, because of course 1 minute is 60 seconds. It's 60 more diamonds, so 1 per second. But you can do this with proper numbers and everything. If you're actually looking at what a guy is doing, you can estimate how much his production is, which can help you decide if you need more production to beat him, or if you can just wait it out and let him go and lose against you. Same thing here, but instead of having to set at start and end time, you can just say, okay, it's been a couple minutes, or it's been an hour and a couple minutes, and then you just do the same as before. Actually writing properly, there we go. And it's gonna estimate the production. Of course, this is not realistic, no one is gonna have that production ever, but it's just something you can use to estimate the production. Of course, numbers in real life would be much bigger and stuff like that, but that's the idea behind this tool. The part I'm more like interested about is this part, and I hope that you guys enjoy this tool. I'm gonna improve it a little bit, try to listen to whoever wants to tell me, like give me a feedback and tell me how to improve it, because I still feel that it's pretty raw and it needs some work. Like, yeah, the numbers work and everything makes sense, but it's a bit like complex for people to understand, especially if you're not like too math oriented, and you need to have a basic understanding, or maybe deep, I don't know, of how the game works and everything. Of course, feel free to comment or DM me on Telegram if you know how to make it better, what you want to see. Everything you see in this video is probably going to change, or well, improve, because I'm actively working on this. And of course, if you want to help me, you enjoy any of the KKClicker Buddy tools, well, why not download the game if you don't have one of them, register and use my referral code maybe, that would be nice, or just use the tool. Honestly, this tool is giving me quite some help just by the people who use it, and of course share it with your friends, share the love. The more this site gets used, the more I can work on it. And thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you want to see more of this tool. I'll develop it if there's interest about it. Thanks again and have a good day. Bye bye.